Saturday morning, 1985. Your mom hands you $5 at the mall entrance and says meet her at the fountain at noon. That was it. That was the whole plan. And for the next 3 hours, you were the richest kid in America. Every store on this list was part of that Saturday, and every one of them is gone now. But here's the thing. Almost nobody knows. They didn't just fade away. Each one was killed by something specific. A bad bet, a missed phone call, a pile of debt. And one of them, I promise you, is secretly still alive today, hiding under a name you'd never guess. That one's last. Let's start with the store that hurt the most. Number 1. Toys R Us. You remember the feeling. Those glass doors slide open, and the smell hits you first. Fresh plastic and cardboard, aisle after aisle stacked to the ceiling. Jeffrey the giraffe on every sign. You didn't even need to buy anything. Just walking in was the event. So here's what actually killed it. And it's going to make you mad. It wasn't kids growing up. It wasn't even the internet. Not really. In 2005, a group of investment firms bought the company and loaded it with about $5 billion of debt from its own purchase. $5 billion. After that, nearly every dollar the stores earned went to interest payments instead of toys, instead of stores, instead of a future. The company was still selling toys the day it died in 2018. It didn't fail at its job. It drowned carrying somebody else's debt. Kids never stopped coming. The money men just never let it breathe. Number 2. Blockbuster. Friday night ritual. The whole family in the car, arguing about the movie before you even got there. The blue and yellow sign, the smell of popcorn and plastic cases, and that little moment of panic, flipping the box over, praying there was a tape behind it. Be kind. Rewind. Now, here's the part that stings. In the year 2000, a small, struggling company came to Blockbuster and offered to sell itself for $50 million. Blockbuster laughed them out of the room. That little company was Netflix. At its peak, Blockbuster had around 9,000 stores. Today, there is exactly one left in Bend, Oregon. 9,000 to 1 because of a single meeting where somebody said no. Sometimes an empire doesn't collapse. Sometimes it just makes one phone call wrong. Number 3. Radio Shack. Every strip mall had one. The wall of batteries, the drawers of tiny parts, and behind the counter, a guy who actually knew things. You could walk in with a broken radio and walk out, understanding how it worked. You've got questions, we've got answers. That was the promise, and for a long time, it was true. So, what happened? The cruelest thing possible. Everything Radio Shack sold got swallowed by one device. The calculator, the scanner, the tape recorder, the police radio, the camera, all of it collapsed into the phone in your pocket. The store that sold you 100 gadgets was replaced by one gadget, and a place built on answers suddenly had nobody left asking questions. 7,000 stores, gone almost overnight. Not beaten by a rival. Made unnecessary by progress it helped invent. Number 4. Sam Goody, the record store. Rows and rows of cassettes. Then those long CD bins you could flip through for an hour. Listening stations with the big padded headphones. You'd take your allowance in there and agonize, because you could afford one tape, and it had to be right. Whatever you picked, you were going to live with it for months. And that's exactly what killed it. The music industry made a fortune selling you the album to get the one song you loved. When downloads arrived, people just bought the song, 99 cents instead of $18. The whole business had been built on that gap, and the gap closed in about 5 years. The store didn't lose its customers. It lost its trick. And by the way, if you think that's a twist, wait until you hear where the last store on this list ended up. It never closed at all. Number 5. The Arcade, Aladdin's Castle, Tilt, or just the dark room at the back of the pizza place. Glowing screens, and that sound, quarters dropping, buttons clacking, somebody groaning at a game over. In 1982, arcades took in more money than movies and pop music combined. Quarters, a national empire built on quarters. You'd get your $5 changed into a paper cup of them and feel like you were holding treasure. What killed it lived in your own house. The Nintendo, the Sega. The moment the games at home got close enough to the games at the mall, the whole reason to leave disappeared. The arcade trained a generation to love video games, and then that same love stayed home on the couch. It got beaten by its own children. Number 6. Walden Books, the mall bookstore. Small, packed, a little too warm. Paperbacks spinning on wire racks. For a lot of American kids, this was the first store that treated you like a grown-up because your money bought the same book as anybody's money. Over 1,200 of them at the peak, one in nearly every mall in the country. Here's what happened. The giant bookstores arrived first, the ones the size of a grocery store, and pulled everyone out of the mall. Then the internet arrived and pulled everyone out of the giants. Walden Books got folded into Borders, and in 2011, Borders itself went under, the predator following its prey into the ground within a decade. 2 generations of bookstores, gone in one lifetime. The books survived. The place you discovered them didn't. Number 7. Woolworths. And here's the one I promised you. The 5 and dime. Creaky wooden floors, a little of everything, goldfish in tanks at the back, and that lunch counter, grilled cheese, and a milkshake next to your grandmother. Woolworths was already old when you were young. It felt permanent, like a courthouse. In 1997, the last American Woolworths closed, and everybody mourned, and everybody moved on. Except the company never actually died. It looked at its own shelves, noticed that one small department was quietly outselling everything else, and bet the entire company on it. Sneakers. The F.W. Woolworth Company changed its name, and today you know it as Foot Locker. That's not a legend. That's the same corporation, continuous, unbroken. So the next time you walk past a Foot Locker in the mall, understand what you're really looking at. That's Woolworths. It's been standing next to the fountain this whole time, wearing a referee shirt. So look at what really happened to your Saturday. The toys were killed by debt, the movies by one bad meeting, the gadgets by the phone, the music by its own pricing trick. the arcade by its own children, the books by a bigger fish that also got eaten. Not one of these stores died because kids stopped showing up. We showed up until the very last day. The stores lost battles we never saw, in boardrooms and bank meetings, far away from the fountain where your mom picked you up at noon. The Saturday didn't leave us. It was taken, one decision at a time. If this brought back a Saturday you'd forgotten you had, stick around and subscribe. This is the place where we remember together.